All right, cool.
Do you want an introduction?
Now we're gonna go.
Okay, you can.
So yeah, as I was just saying before, this game starts with kind of like a long introductory cutscene. So I'm gonna do some introductions over that before the timer starts. So just to start, I'm Lombax999. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Ryan.
I'm Ski Craze Teddy.
Cool. So yeah, this is Ratchet and Clank Future, A Crack in Time, and I'm going to be doing any percent. This game, there's kind of a lot to talk about right at the beginning. So the first thing I'm going to mention is, at the very beginning here, Ratchet and Clank are actually separated in this game, unlike in most of the other games in the series. And you're supposed to switch off as playing between the two of them. I say supposed to because I'm actually going to skip all of the Clank sections except for the very first one. So this first Clank section is very different from pretty much everything else you do in the game. There's a very specific kind of movement you do. Normally Clank moves very slowly, and this section kind of is meant to be like a tutorial that goes really slowly. But you can actually make Clank move much faster than he's supposed to. So the deal with Clank is he can jump once from the ground, and then he has 3 like double jumps or mid-air jumps, which he moves a lot faster in the air when he's doing those, so those are good. The problem with those is that after you do one, he kind of pulls out this like helicopter pack thing, and he falls really slowly. Luckily, you can cancel that animation by pressing R2. So the ideal way of movement, if you're just going in a straight line, is you're going to do a jump, then you're going to do a double jump and cancel it, a second double jump and cancel it, a third double jump and cancel it, and then repeat that whole sequence over again. You'll see what I mean in just a second as soon as this starts. Sometimes I will do only 2 or 1 of the double jumps, depending on how far I want to go. But yeah, that's basically how it's going to go for the most part. Yeah. So we should be starting here in just a second. This cutscene's a little long. Anything else to talk about at the beginning? I guess I covered everything. If anyone in the Ratchet and Clank, I mean, I like it a lot. You can argue with the other Ratchet and Clank speedrunners in the community. Many of them would not agree with that. Oh, one thing I should mention actually is, if you're familiar with the like the original trilogy of Ratchet and Clank games, this one's a bit different in that the speedrun is not really about optimizing movement, with the exception of like Clank and a few other parts. So time's about to start. Start. For the most part, this run isn't really about optimizing movement. It's about doing the out-of-bounds clips and sequence breaks correctly. Yeah. So as you can see, I'm kind of doing that movement I talked about, where I'm like jumping and canceling it. You can't really see the helicopter because I'm canceling it so fast that you don't really get to see it happening. For some reason, the music stopped. That's kind of weird. That normally doesn't happen, but whatever. Yeah, everything else is fine. It's cool. It's just a weird glitch. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. It just cut out a little early. This area is a little glitched because it's like loading a bunch of stuff at the beginning of the game. Right now, there's like a camera tutorial that's pretty useless. I kind of just have to sit through this. It actually tells me some things that are inaccurate in this camera tutorial. Specifically, the way you use look mode is different with Ratchet than it is with Clank, and it never mentions that. It's kind of weird. But yeah, so I'm just going to be running through here. One thing I should mention at the beginning. Okay. We actually use the in-game timer for checking like the official time for this game. The reason for that is the in-game timer does not count time spent on loading screens, cutscenes, or the pause menu. And loading screens on the PS3 can vary randomly for pretty much no reason. So the in-game timer is actually more reliable for this game. The world record for this game was actually set 2 days ago. In-game time, it's a 1:16:02. In real time, it's a 1:53:23. So there's quite a big difference between the two times, as you can see.
How much of that is loading and how much of that is cutscenes?
Yeah, there's a lot of cutscenes. But they're for a good reason. They let us skip all the Clank sections. I'll explain that later. The cutscenes are actually your friend here. The game would be way longer without the obnoxious cutscenes. Kind of messed that up, but it's okay. So I'm going to go for a thing here. I'm probably not going to get it. I did get it. I just didn't believe. You can land on that without grabbing the ledge. So that was really slow. Normally you can get through this room much faster by jumping off of that thing off to the side. Gonna try and avoid these enemies. They kind of mess with the camera a lot, as you can see. The camera likes to focus on them, even though I'm just gonna run past them. Pretty much at the end of the Clank section here. Just gonna jump over some more enemies, jump off these boxes, hopefully. Not like that. Not a great Clank, but luckily that doesn't matter, because the difference between a good and a bad Clank section is about 5 seconds, which doesn't really matter in the course of a full run. So we're gonna go up this stairway, and then we'll be done with Clank. That's that.
And we get another cutscene.
And now we get another wonderful cutscene. I'm actually gonna take the headphones off now, because I'm not gonna need them again for a bit. And it's much easier to hear. Hopefully I wasn't like yelling at you guys the whole time. I apologize if I was.
This game's not available digital, right?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, so an SSD won't worry about.
Yeah, no, it won't. I know some of the games in the series are. I think this one is not. Don't quote me on that.
I know, Tools of Destruction.
Yeah, it is. There's actually a whole thing with Tools of Destruction in this game. If you own, I think it's Tools of Destruction, if you own Tools of Destruction and this game, Tools of Destruction gives you a discount on the weapons in this game, which actually affects the run a lot, because it allows you to buy certain weapons that you need earlier than you would be able to otherwise, which matters because your weapons level up individually in this game, so you can basically your weapons would be better than they would be otherwise. So that glitch, it's not a glitch, but that discount is banned for this run, which has caused my friend Perilous Peanut quite a bit of issues, because it's very hard to make your PS3 forget you have Tools of Destruction.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
So yeah, but I think he managed to do it, hopefully. Yeah, no, I'm sure he figured it out. I think it was him. I know someone was having a big issue with that. I think it was Peanut. All right, so now we're about to get into actual gameplay. So I'm going to start playing as Ratchet. You're never going to see Clank again, with the exception of 30 seconds at the very end of the game. So say goodbye to Clank. Do you guys have my FFV stuff? I'm just curious, because I think the chat would enjoy some of those.
So, did I miss it? Did you explain why we're not going to see Clank again?
I'll talk about it when it happens.
Okay.
So these cutscenes are skippable. Cool.
Where the heck are we?
So this is the first planet. This is Zolar. Unfortunately, this game has a little bit of a slow start. Zolar is the least broken planet in the game, partially because you just don't have the items to break it yet. But Zolar's, I don't know, there's not much to say. There's really only 2 significant skips here, and compared to some of the skips you'll see later, they're really not even that significant. The first thing I need to mention here is these little mushroom dudes. I want to kill as many of those as I can as I run through that area, because if I don't kill enough of them, basically whichever ones I don't kill, Quark is going to stay behind and fight them. And once I raise this bridge right here, no matter what Quark is doing, okay, good, so he killed all the remaining ones. No matter what he's doing, once this bridge is fully raised, he'll run across it. I want him to finish fighting them so that he'll be standing where he was. If I hadn't done that, he would be staying behind and fighting them, and I would lose about 5 seconds. It's kind of random how quickly he kills them, because he's a computer and an idiot. So luckily, I killed most of them, and it wasn't an issue.
Whoa! Quark.
Is RNG involved in the enemies where they spawn or how they attack?
Yes, that's going to come up in minor ways later, and in a couple major ways, specifically with how they attack and their movement patterns. But oh yeah, this cutscene's not skippable for some reason. I don't know why it feels it's really important to show you these 2 guys walking through this wall, but that cutscene is not skippable for some. I really don't know
It
why.
might be loading something.
There's a minor trick here. Normally I'm supposed to go around to the right, but I can jump off of this rock and just get up here a little faster. So I'm going to raise this bridge. Those 2 guys he's fighting, I don't care about them. He's just going to run across the bridge as soon as it's raised anyways. And then I'm going to go up and I'm going to buy an item called the Bomb Glove. When you're playing this game casually, this item is very heavily encouraged for you to buy. You start with 1,000 bolts, and that's how much it costs. So the game is basically like, hey, you should buy this item.
So are there some cutscenes that are skippable and some
Yeah,
aren't?
It's weird. This game has 3 or 4 different kinds of cutscenes. There's skippable in-game cutscenes, unskippable in-game cutscenes, and unskippable HD cutscenes. So So this one's skippable. It's kind of weird. A few things just happened. I used the bomb glove to kill those guys because I want my bomb glove to level up at a specific point in the run, which I'll talk about later. Right now I have to save these women's 3 kids. So this is the first kid. The first 2 I just have to kill some dudes. Alright, that was pretty good. The second kid shouldn't take very long. He usually takes like 2 seconds to save. He has a little bit of RNG, but it's very minor. There's going to be some mushrooms around him. Okay, I got like pretty much the worst possible situation, which is 5 of those guys, and they're all spread out. Those guys, their positions are random, and there can be 3 to 5 of them. So ideally, there are 3 of them, and they're like right next to each other. But I got the worst possible situation, which is there are 5 and they're spread out.
How much
Doesn't
time
really
does
matter
that
that much.
cost?
It only costs a couple seconds. This trick, so this is one of the biggest tricks, the thing I'm just doing right now. There's normally this big platforming sequence to get the 3rd kid, but by doing what I just did, you can skip the whole thing by getting on top of that arc and just kind of like jumping directly to the end. That's pretty much the biggest trick on Zolar, so you can kind of get an idea of how underwhelming this planet is, especially if you're familiar with the run and you know about what happens later. That's just a taste of things to come. A very minor, this isn't a trick, but something I always go for is if you position yourself correctly here, you can stand on Quark's head, which doesn't matter at all, but it's fun to do.
How many style points is it worth?
It's worth a lot of style points. I usually only get 2 tries because soon the cutscene's gonna happen. I didn't get it. I'm sorry, guys. So that means this probably won't be world record, unfortunately.
So is it not world record because you lost a few seconds from the mushrooms?
No, it's not world record because I didn't stand on Quark's head, which cost me no time at all. So there's 2 groups of mushroom guys there. I'm just gonna run past them, they don't matter. And then I'm gonna fight this group. For some reason, the game only checks if you've killed this group, and everyone who I'm escorting will just catch up to me, even if I don't kill the previous 2 groups. So forget about those guys, we're just gonna kill this one.
Do you take any damage from the bomb glove?
Not really, these guys kind of suck. Oh, from my own weapons? No. You never take damage from your own weapons. Yeah, it's convenient. That would probably change the run a lot if you did. So now he's gonna open the door for me, and we're gonna slowly walk through this place. And then I'm gonna have an interesting discussion with him about keeping secrets, which I will not be able to skip because there's like, so in addition to the different types of cutscenes, there's also like in-game like conversations with people, which unfortunately you guys aren't gonna get to hear, but Twitch chat will. Because some of them are really funny. Like, the guy I'm about to talk to has a really funny voice that I wish you guys could hear, but you can't. I'm gonna listen to it because it's awesome.
Can you do a voiceover?
No, it's not gonna happen.
Well, we all know it's like pretty commonplace on your stream, so I don't know why you're not doing it here.
I'm only doing this because I want to know when to mash. So in a second, there's a very minor optimization that I want to mention really quickly. He's going to lower these doors for me. And this only saves maybe half a second at most. But as the doors are lowering, there's like a surface on top of them. So you can actually run. If you jump correctly, you can like walk across the top of the doors and walk over them as they're lowering. Hopefully you'll see what I mean. This first one's very easy to do.
How much time does that save?
See how I like walked on top of the door as it was lowering. Again, it saves like half a second. It's not really relevant, very minor optimization. There's another one coming up here. This one is the only audio cue I use in the entire game, and it's very irrelevant, but I'm gonna try and do it anyways. This door lowers a lot more quickly, so I'm probably not gonna get it, but I'll try.
Copy that. Operation Red Shirt is
Okay, I got it.
go.
I got it. Yeah, that was it. Again, if I had missed that, it would not really matter.
How much time does that save?
I think I answered that question already. So these wheels, that first one turns backwards, so you jump when you're on it because you don't get the like negative speed from walking on something that's turning the other way. The other two, it's faster to walk on because they're turning in the same direction as you. Again, pretty minor optimization, but this first planet's all about minor optimizations. Should have jumped a little earlier. Yeah, maybe. Oh, I missed the wrench throw. You can get this with your wrench by throwing it. All right, so this is the next real trick in Zolar. I probably should have started explaining this sooner, but now it's too late. So there are these 2 things called Zoni. Zoni are like the main collectibles in this game. All right, so the Zoni I just got, I'm not supposed to be able to get him right now. You're supposed to get the other one who's on the ground in front of you, and then you're supposed to get that second one when you walk back through the tunnel you just came through. but I got the second one first, and it teleported me back towards the end of the tunnel. So that saves about 30 seconds right now. Unfortunately, I am going to have to get another Zoni to make up for that one later, which will cost me 10 to 15 seconds in a planet called Axiom City that we'll get to a bit later in the run. Now I'm going to fight some dudes. Another thing I didn't mention, I'm playing on casual because it's just faster. So fights aren't going to be much of a challenge. I'm just going to throw my wrench at most of these dudes because on casual, your wrench just like one-shots the easy enemies. So yeah, I don't have to worry too much about fights. At least in terms of like risk of dying or anything.
Is this section, are you just like waiting out all the enemy spawns, or
More
do you
less.
actually have to
Surprised
kill
I
them
didn't hit
fast?
that guy. So then there's going to be 2 guys that come down. I'm going to kill them with my wrench. Aw. If you kill that guy fast enough, the chief will say 2 lines of dialogue at the same time, but I didn't get it to happen. Another door walk. So there's a big thing here where like sometimes the chief will just like not follow me. Yeah, it looks like he's not following me. He's being a dick right now, but that's okay. Usually he catches up. If he doesn't, it'll cost me about 20 seconds. It's kind of random. I don't really know why it happens, but sometimes he just decides not to follow you, even though I'm supposed to be escorting him right now. So hopefully he decides to catch up with me in a minute. If not, that'll suck. I'm going to try and do something here that I'm really bad at, so I'm not going to be able to do it. But basically, if you kill these waves of enemies fast enough, you can go for something called the early ship kill. Yeah, okay, I messed up. I'm not getting it. But basically, this ship that's appearing right here, it drops an enemy that I have to kill. I can actually kill this ship before it drops the enemy, and that saves a little bit of time, but you have to kill that first wave of guys really quickly to have enough time to afford to go for it, and I didn't. Oh good, the chief caught up. So he decided to be nice to me today, which is good. If he hadn't, I would have lost about 20 seconds. And again, I don't really know why that happens. So yeah, I'm glad it didn't. So I get a second Zoni. This Zoni is supposed to be the third one. You're supposed to get 3 of these on this first planet. But I only have 2. Which is kind of... So for people who are familiar with this game casually, you might think like, well, don't you need the Zoni to do stuff to get past like these barriers around the planets later in the game? You're going to see in a minute why that's not an issue. Not in a minute, in a while. But basically, Zoni aren't really important. The only reason I'm getting them at all, actually... Hold on, I have to do some mashing. The only reason I'm getting Zoni at all is because when you get 6 of them, you get an upgrade for the ship that makes it move faster in space. It's like a booster. And it's worth getting enough Zoni to get the booster because you spend enough time in space that like moving faster in space is worth it. So we get 6 of the quickest Zoni. So I get 2 there.
This way you can hear us speak.
Cool. So I get 2 there. I actually don't need this anymore for a while. So I get 2 there. I'm going to get 2. I'm going to get basically 4 more in the next sector. So the Ratchet gameplay is divided into 4 sectors in space. Each sector has a number of planets.
Why are you
or other
spinning like that?
locations. Yeah, so if you barrel roll sideways, it's actually faster than moving straight. And so you just barrel roll places when you're in space. This is even true once you have the booster. You just boost and barrel roll at the same time.
I'm a barrel roll.
There wasn't much support for that. So these ships are one of the bigger points of RNG in the run. They spawn randomly. You also get random upgrades while you're fighting enemies in space. I got a thing called a kaboom, which just kills all the enemies near me. And I got it at a really good time, so that was pretty good RNG. So these were pretty solid ships, other than the fact that I'm missing 1. Okay, that was good. That was still really good, considering those are like super random. So now we're going to Vorsalon 1. You visit Vorsalon's ship twice in this run, once here and then once like towards the end of the game. This area is also not like super broken. Unfortunately, again, Sector 1 kind of like, it builds up, but Sector 2 it'll be worth it, I promise. This location does have a few important skips that I'll be talking about when I get to them. Right at the beginning, these jet things, I'm just gonna run through the first one because YOLO. There's a bridge here that I'm supposed to lower, but I'm just gonna like not do that. And then this one is continuous, so it'll like constantly damage me. So I'm gonna deactivate the jet, but I'm still not gonna lower the bridge because I don't need to do that. This thing in front of me is called a grav ramp. You're gonna see how these are really broken later. I'm gonna double jump at it to save, like, again, very minor optimization. If you double jump at those, you save like a very small amount of time on movement. Now I'm gonna be walking through this place for a little while. So a little bit of downtime here.
Dispatching engineer.
The big thing here is gonna be, see this rotating thing? Oh, okay, it was nice to me, I'm gonna go left. Sometimes if it's exactly in the middle, it's hard to tell whether you should go left or right, but that time it was obvious. I'm pretty sure that thing is on an internal timer in the game, and it's not actually RNG, but it's basically RNG because you don't know what the internal timer is. It can cost you a couple seconds if it's in an inconvenient spot. So now we go down this elevator, kind of walk forward some more. Not like that, not into the wall. That was probably not the best way to do that.
So if I remember correctly, this is like the first level of the game where we're actually going to see some tricks, right?
Well, I mean, there was a couple things on Zolar, but this is where you're going to see the first like major sequence break, which will be like basically the last thing I do. There's a boss on this place. Oh, a minor thing here. I can just walk off that grav ramp sideways because it ends right there, so that saves like 25 seconds of just walking around this track. Another thing that's important here that I need to mention now is since your weapons level up, there's a weird thing that happens with your weapons where when they level up, they refill their ammo automatically. So I've actually been manipulating the ammo of my bomb glove so that it levels up to level 3 during the boss fight, which saves a little bit of time getting ammo. So I'm gonna make sure I kill a certain amount of guys with the bombs. I just did a trick there using a thing called a hyper strike, which is basically just Ratchet's air attack with a wrench. Normally you're supposed to fight like a bunch of dudes in that area, but if you hyper strike, you like gain a bit of height, and I guess they just didn't think about that when they were programming the game. So you can use that to get kind of higher than you're supposed to be. There's another trick you'll see later that allows you to get distance in sort of a similar way, but I can't do that until I have the hover boots.
Quark, give me a status.
So now we're coming up on one of the hardest tricks in the game, especially like for new runners. This is called door clip. Basically, I have to jump off of an enemy here to grab.
Well, find out what you can.
And kill like
He's
one
an
more of
enemy
these,
of
or two
Nefarious.
more,
He
that
might be a
works.
friend to us.
Let me just do it and then I'll talk about it. That's not how you do it. That's almost how you do it. That should work. Okay, so you jump off of one of those guys, you get through there. That's more difficult than it seems, I promise. So there's going to be another trick very similar to that one later, but basically that skips a whole thing where you have to escort Quark around and like just saves a lot of annoying waste of time with Quark. Quark's kind of, if you can avoid doing things with Quark, you should. So we do. That saves a good. I barely missed getting the level up on the ammo. If you look at the top left, you can see my weapon leveling, and I was 2 bombs away from getting where I want. This boss fight's terrible. I just lost track of him while he was invisible. I think he's over here somewhere. Come on, dude. There you are. Yeah. So that's basically Borsalon 2. I'm going to kill him and then I'm going to leave. A little bit more about door clip, the trick I did earlier. This was a really bad boss fight. That's fine. A little bit more about door clip. I'm going to do another trick very similar to that towards the end of the run. That's basically just like a much harder version of it. The one I just did it's easier. It's still not easy. I don't know. It's too late. Moment's gone. Never mind.
Train gone.
Yeah, train gone. If any of you know ASL, you get that reference. But so now what's going to happen? Normally, what would happen now? Okay, let me try and figure out the most concise way to explain this. Normally, what would happen now is I would go to the Clank section. I just finished Sector 1 with Ratchet. Normally, like I said, you switch off playing as Clank and Ratchet, but you can skip the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Clank sections by doing a glitch I'm about to do. It's very easy. It's basically just a big oversight by the developers where if you fly towards this planet in front of me, the first planet in the game, Zolar, and you press triangle to land on that planet, when you try and land on a planet, there's like an animation where your ship like flies towards the planet before the game like takes away your control. And you can still pause and more importantly press select to bring up the map while that's happening. So what's going to happen is I'm going to fly up to this planet and press triangle, and then immediately afterwards I'm going to press select to bring up the map. And then I'm going to warp to the new sector. So let me make sure I don't mess this up really quick, and I'll explain why this is important. So I'm going to the new sector, and I have to skip this cutscene, or it won't work. Okay, so now it's going to play a cutscene, because what the game thinks, it's like, you just left Sector 1 for the first time, so you must be going to the Clank section, so we're going to play this cutscene. This cutscene's going to play. This is an HD, unskippable cutscene. that I was alluding to earlier. Now, the reason it's good that this is this type of cutscene is because this cutscene and others like it are actually loading screens, like in disguise. So the game is actually loading stuff while this is happening. It's supposed to be loading, like the Clank section, but because I tried to land on that planet, and that planet takes a really long time to load, I think. I don't really know why. For some reason, it only works with Zolar. But for some reason, basically what I did is I tricked the game into loading a planet after loading the Clank section. So there's this cutscene playing, and then it's going to load Zolar afterwards, and I'm just going to land on the planet. I don't have anything to do there, so then I'm just going to leave the planet. I'm going to warp to the sector again, and I'm actually going to go there, because since I've already left Sector 1 once, the game is like, okay, you already left, so you've already done the Clank section. Then I'm going to arrive in Sector 2 for the first time, and the game's going to be like, oh, since you're here for the first time, you must have just finished the Clank section. So it's going to play another cutscene that normally would be the transition between the Clank section and the second sector. So in short, there's going to be a loading screen, and then another loading screen, and then a cutscene. But it's good because it skips, in total, all of these cutscenes and stuff. If they were skippable, and this Clank section stuff wasn't skippable, it would add like probably at least 10 minutes to the run. And Clank gameplay is like puzzles and stuff. It's really fun casually, but it's not stuff you want to do in a speedrun.
Makes
So,
sense.
yeah.
I understood it perfectly.
Cool, awesome. It's kind of hard to explain, but hopefully I did a good enough job. So yeah, as I said, I don't have anything to actually do on this planet, so I'm just going to leave. I'm going to go to the sector again. So this is kind of like a little mini intermission, and there'll be 2 more of these later in the run.
You managed to keep that long enough that you just went through the whole cutscene. But there's a second.
Well, there's a second cutscene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Halfway through.
Yep. So I'm going to be back in space, like I was saying. Now I'm going to go to Sector 2 for real. And since it's my first time entering the sector, it'll be like, oh, you just finished Clank, so it'll play another cutscene. So yeah, it's going to play this, and then we're going to get into like Sector 2 is where the game like really picks up.
Where are we going once we?
So Sector
get
2
back in the
actually
game?
only has 2 planets as well. It has Molinoth and then Axiom City. On each of those planets, I'm going to be getting 2 more Zoni. So after I leave Axiom City, I'll have the 6 that I need to have the booster for the ship. First, we're going to go to Molinoth. Molinoth is one of my favorite planets in the run. It's really fun to do, and it's really fun to watch if you haven't seen it before, because it's where the game starts to kind of show off the ways in which it's broken a lot more. But unlike some of the other planets later in the run, it's not like there's just like one big trick like Doorcliff that saves like 3 minutes. It's kind of like a series of like half tricks in a row, which makes it pretty fun to play, and I think it's pretty interesting to watch. So that'll start in a second. As soon as this cutscene ends, I'll have to fly up to the planet first, but then we'll be at Molinoth.
Is Molinoth when you get the rocket boots?
Yeah, Molinoth's also where you get the hover boots. The most broken item in the whole game, I think I can safely say. The hover boots, basically you equip them and you can move more quickly. You like boost around on the ground. You can also like hover slowly when you're in the air. But what's most important about them is if you can do a thing called like a hover boot boost jump or double jump, where basically if you time boosting and jumping correctly with the hover boots when you're on the ground, you can go farther horizontally than the game intends you to, which allows you to get across a lot of gaps you're not supposed to be able to. And that allows you to start doing a lot of sequence breaks later in the run. They're also pretty broken on Molinoth itself, which you'll see once I get them. I get it kind of like towards the end of Molinoth, but basically as soon as I get them, I use them to break the game.
We're talking over
you'll
some
see that
high
in a
comedy here.
Yeah. I think they might have passed, I don't know if that was the Nefarious Error cutscene, but there are a couple of those. It might have been.
I think it is.
All right, so now I, slowly barrel roll over to Axiom City. Not Axiom City, Molinoth. We're going there first. Yeah.
Got it. Thanks, Quark. I'll head over there now.
So Quark's saying some stuff that I can't hear because I don't have the headphones on, but I don't care because Quark is an idiot. I land on the planet. Now it's going to load the planet. More loading screens, just what you guys wanted.
Back in the game zone.
Yeah, but now, like, as soon as Molinoth starts, it basically picks up immediately. The first thing I'm going to do is basically there's a little area where you're supposed to run around to the right and go up this like spring to a platform. But I'm going to like jump off of an object to grab a ledge and do it a little bit quicker. This is the first instance where you're going to see like when you start using objects that are just kind of in the environment and jumping off of them to get to places
Come
like
in.
I'm not supposed
I
to,
just landed on Torn
which is
4.
actually a big portion of the
Longlegs
tricks
know
in
where
this
I can
game. So
find
I'm going to jump off
Hazmat?
of this thing. Not like that. Come
Come
on. I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to grab an edge that's apparently there.
All right.
And now I'm up
Maybe
here. That
someone
saved,
around here can
you know,
point me
it
in
saves
the right
about 15
direction.
seconds, like I said. Normally
See
you would
what
just
else
have
you
to
can
walk
find.
around.
I'll be in touch.
Next thing is I can jump off of this without lowering it, which saves a little bit of time. That's a minor optimization. I'm going to kill this next group of guys using only my wrench, because it's very important that a certain object here does not get destroyed, because I'm going to jump off of it in a second. So there's a cutscene here, then I'm going to go get a Zoni really quick. Normally what you're supposed to do is go off to that area off to the left in front of me, and like go through this like little rail section. But I'm not going to do that because it takes a while. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back instead.
Quark, I don't
And I'm just
think
going to walk up
that's
to
such
this
a good idea.
convenient lamppost right here. Kind of stand on it and just do that. And now I'm at the end of that rail section. So yeah, so now I talk to this dude. He says some stuff that I don't care about. And he's going to open the door to a place called the Hollow for me, which is where I need to go. But he walks really slowly, so while he's walking, I'm going to collect some bolts. The reason bolts are important is because you use them to buy weapons. We actually only buy a couple weapons in the whole game. There are some that get given to us conveniently that we'll use. I already bought the bomb glove. I'm going to buy 3 more weapons in the run. Bolts aren't too bad. In the current route, bolts are pretty easy to manage. They used to be much more tight in previous routes, but bolts are pretty straightforward right now. That's just a good opportunity to pick some up while
What changed,
there's downtime.
like, that made
New
them
tricks
less
were
relevant?
found. The space station skip was the big thing. Before that existed, you had to buy buzz blades before space station, which probably means very little to most of the people watching, but you'll see what I mean later. So now I'm going to skip all of the Hollow, because the Hollow takes a while and you have to like collect these battery bots and do stuff with them. I'm just going to clip out of bounds like that instead. Go over here.
So, could you maybe explain a little bit about level geometry?
Geometry?
And how? Well, yeah.
This is the end of the level, by the way. I just skipped the whole area.
Just yeah, because there's in a lot of the Ratchet and Clank games, they have all sorts of wacky geometry on
Yeah,
all types of small objects, enabling skips.
Yeah, there's a lot of like just jumping off of stuff that is angled weirdly or just happens to be a convenient flat surface. I don't want that weapon. I want
Or jumping off of nothing sometimes.
Yeah, that happens as well. I'm actually going to focus and try and get a trick that I will hopefully get and be able to explain afterwards. I might have it. I can't really tell. So there's a trick here called fast. No, I didn't.
I just want to
That's
talk to
unfortunate.
you.
Okay, there's a trick here called fast rails. So basically this rail section I'm doing is like an auto scroller. It moves at a set speed, right? For some reason, if you hold up on the left stick and mash circle during the cutscene before this, you have a chance of making this rail section move like twice as fast. I don't know why that happens. And actually, I'm the only runner who's ever gotten that to happen. I've gotten it to happen like 6 or 7 times. And 4 of those times were like very recently. They were actually the last 4 runs I did. So it's a really inconsistent, seemingly luck-based thing. It might be like a frame perfect or near frame perfect input right before, like right after the cutscene ends or something. I don't really know how it works. No one really knows how it works right now. But it's pretty important if you're going for like a world record because it saves about probably 15 to 25 seconds. Probably more on the higher end, more like 25 seconds, which matters a lot if you're like going for a really good time in this game. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but that's okay. It's more or less a luck-based trick.
Is that the only thing you can do to speed up these sections?
Yep. Well, this is the only one you can do that on. It doesn't work on other rail sections. It's weird. It only works here. But there's only one other rail section I'm going to be doing, so it doesn't matter too much. So now I have the hover boots. I'm going to skip the cutscene where he gives me the hover boots. But now I have them. I can't skip this cutscene for some reason. But now that I have them, I'm gonna jump off another lamp, basically, is the first thing I'm gonna do. So there's kind of like this track I'm supposed to go through. Before I do the track, I'm supposed to like mess around for a while, because the game's like, oh, you got hover boots, you're gonna wanna like figure out what to do, but I already know what to do. So I'm gonna do this to get up here before I'm supposed to. Jump off some stuff. Basically this whole area, I mean, I'm not supposed to have access to yet. And then I'm gonna hopefully not mess this up. So what I'm gonna do here is jump off this really convenient lamp. Hopefully you guys saw that in the bottom left of the screen. And I'm just going to jump out of this area.
That didn't look
sometimes
good.
stuff deloads because you're not supposed to be up that high. So that's a pretty important skip. What I'm doing right now is there's this like course where I have to collect flares. Basically, I was supposed to do another one of these before this one, but by doing what I just did, I was able to skip the first flare collecting course. And just go straight to the second one. There's a weird glitch you'll see here where I hold L2 while I'm falling and Ratchet kind of falls like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I don't know why that happens. It's kind of a weird thing. For some reason, it doesn't work when you do it with X. When you do it with X, he'll just hover down normally, but if you hold L1, which also is a jump button, it does that instead, so that's cool. Yeah, now we're basically done with Molotov. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this area. Basically, I just follow this Zoni back to the end. I'm going to pick him up right outside my ship, and then we're going to leave and go to Axiom City. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. A minor thing there is it's faster to just jump over those gaps instead of using the like boost stuff on the sides. They take more time. It's better to just go. So I kind of, this level, I'm just like kind of following the level backwards through like a route you can't go through until you've like done the level and have the hover boots. I'm gonna grab the Zoni. So now I have 4. The ship is gonna like try and upgrade right now, which is gonna be kind of weird because it shouldn't be upgrading to anything because you don't get an upgrade at 3 normally. 3 is just like what you're supposed to have when you leave Zolar. So I get this like do nothing upgrade before I leave. Which is just a thing. Actually, if you notice the very first upgrade, since I only had 2 Zoni, it said like upgrade undefined because there's not an actual thing that's supposed to happen when you have 2 Zoni.
Sad I missed that.
Yeah, it's hard to see. So now I'm going to fly up to Axiom City. Axiom City has, so this is the first instance where you're going to see why I can skip basically all the Zoni. So what the Zoni do, as I said earlier, they upgrade your ship, right? And you're supposed to need these upgrades to like get onto planets. So for example, the purple planet in front of me, that's where Axiom City is. And you can see there's like some satellite things around it, right? So normally I'm supposed to have 6 Zoni already to get there. He's gonna see me. No, he didn't see me, cool. Normally I'm supposed to have 6 Zoni to like boost past those, but I don't yet. But that's not really gonna be an issue because I'm just gonna like go around the barrier, which isn't supposed to be possible. But if you go to the boundary in space right here, you can kind of just like roll through it. And now I'm out of bounds. So yeah, now I'm out of bounds and I'm just gonna kind of roll around that barrier and then go up to the planet.
That did not seem very hard.
It's not. It's really not. It's basically just a big oversight on their part. You can only do it if you're holding the control sticks in like a specific position, but it's really not difficult.
So can you do skips like this? Are there more planets where you...
I'm going to do this 2 more times. This is actually the hardest one, but it went really well, which is good. The way you get back inbounds, something that's kind of weird about it is when you're out of bounds, you have to get back inbounds before you can land on a planet. And the way you get inbounds is if your ship is ever facing out of bounds, while it's out of bounds, you teleport inbounds, which is kind of weird. So what I do is the whole time I'm rolling, I keep my camera looking inbounds, and then I get past the barrier, and then I turn left and face out of bounds, and it teleports me back in on the other side of the barrier. I'm going to do 2 more of those later in the run. But yeah, that's the hardest one, so
General, come in.
that's out of the way. I'm going to buy Mr. Zircon here. Lots of people like this weapon a lot. It's pretty funny. Unfortunately, my friends on the couch are not going to get to hear why.
What is Mr. Zircon?
He says some funny stuff. I'm going to swing shot up here, which you're like not supposed to do, but you know, you can. I'm going to get this Zoni before I'm supposed to, so that's one of the really fast Zoni. Normally you like follow that guy all the way through the city, but you can just get ahead of him like that. Yeah, so now I'm just going to do a little bit of stuff as intended for a moment. Go across this gap. I always choose the worst timing for this. I don't know why. Oh, okay, now I'm good. Yeah. This part's kind of just as intended for a minute here, so that won't last too long. So there's a cutscene here I'm going to skip. I'm supposed to go across that giant barrier to my left. Normally I have to climb up this stuff. I'm just going to use the couch to get up there a bit faster, because couches are cool, as these guys can attest to. Break some boxes, get some bullets, break the barrier. I'm going to pull out a Mr. Zircon and the bomb glove, I'm about to fight a bunch of guys. If I do this fight perfectly, it lasts like, it's very short. You're probably not going to get a perfect fight. It's pretty hard.
Can you do a Mr. Zircon impression while this fight is happening for us?
Actually, I almost died. This fight was pretty bad. It was actually pretty slow for that fight. I'm sorry, yeah. You guys are definitely missing out. Like, having the audio is pretty nice for this run. So I'm picking up this battery bot. Yeah, but that's not happening. So I'm picking up this battery bot to get my last Zoni, because you need him to get a Zoni up here. If one of you guys wants to do the voices, you're more than welcome.
I don't know how it goes.
So I get this Zoni right here. You can learn. You have time before the next marathon. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to go over here, do this to get on this platform without falling, because I don't want to do that. And then when I get up here, I'm going to do one pretty difficult skip, followed by another skip right in a row. This one can be kind of finicky. This skips a lot, and I don't want to mess it up, so I'm going to stop talking for a moment here. It's not really serious time, it's just, I just need to pay attention, yeah.
So we can talk.
Yeah, I encourage you
Perfect words to say as part of
to. Yeah, apparently. So I'm not supposed to be in this area at all.
We are
Basically, you're
certainly
supposed to
seeing
fight a bunch of
physics
dudes.
added to objects that clearly need them.
Yes, this sign. This is pretty awesome that I can just climb up here.
I like it blinking in and out of existence.
Yeah, now I'm gonna jump onto, I think I messed this up. I messed up. Yeah, that's okay. That's a pretty rare mistake, but it's okay, I can just do it again. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I bumped the wall, which lowers your height sometimes. It's not, I mean, uh-oh. Come on, Ratchet. Let's do this. There we go. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's not bump into the wall. Let's be super careful this time. There we go. So yeah, I bumped into the wall on the right, which like knocks you down a little bit. And this is like the end of that area. Normally I spend like 5 to 10 minutes in that area fighting a bunch of guys. I don't want to do that.
Come on.
Now I'm inside Pollux Industries. I'm going to skip all of Pollux Industries in about 30 seconds if this goes right. This is also a very long area. Didn't grab the right side of that door. So what I want to do, I'm going to jump off of this thing, grab the door like this, jump off of some stuff like that, clip up here out of bounds, jump over to this thing. Yeah, so this is where you kind of see like how the game gets broken. Gonna land on this stuff and just hover boot to this room, which is the end of Pollux Industries. So now we're at the boss.
That thing.
Yeah. So now this boss, this is kind of a low point in the run, because this boss is sort of like auto-scroller of the boss.
Oh, are you actually going to fight this boss?
There is one skip during the boss, which is nice, but for the most part, you just kind of have to wait a little bit. So I'm gonna get these bolts right here. You can't leave, unfortunately, because triggers and stuff, because reasons, basically. But if I stand in the right spot right here, he'll just like never hit me with his lasers. I think I'm good. Let's see. Yep, I should be fine. So I can just, you know, kind of just chill. And he just won't hit me. And back up a little bit.
Literally my life doesn't
Yep, you just wait right here and he just won't hit me. I'm gonna put the headphones on for a second so I can hear Azimuth talking to me. Azimuth doesn't have a very funny voice. Oh no, I took damage. My
Dude, what
foolproof
are you
plan.
doing?
There's health right there.
This was a speed run.
I know. Alright, so I'm gonna jump onto this guy now. This is the next phase of the boss. This phase is, you have to avoid some lasers. It's really easy. So I'm just gonna like run in a circle and avoid them for a while. And this is the part that's kind of like an auto-scroller in that you just have to wait for this phase to finish. If you're at full health, you can get hit 5 times before by these lasers before you die. Realistically, I'm just not going to get hit at all because it's really easy to avoid all of them. So there's really not even a difficulty factor in this at all. It's just kind of like a thing you wait to have happen. So I take this bolt off. I'm going to have to do 2 more phases like that. I'm gonna wait here for a second, not because it's faster, but because as soon as I step onto this platform, the other laser's gonna start following me, and it's annoying. And this amount of time it follows me for is set, even if I stay on the previous platform for longer. So that's not a speedrun strat, it's just like a reduce annoyance strat.
It's a laziness strat.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just gonna kind of do whatever I want because these lasers are just bad. So one more phase after this, and then there's actually a relevant skip coming up during the boss, where you skip one of its phases. I was encouraged to make a joke about death abuse here, but I'm not going to make it. Sorry, Ryan.
I don't know if encouragement is the word I would use.
So yeah, there's going to be an intentional death coming up in a second. Basically, this game is really nice to you, and it just like auto-saves after like lots of stuff. So as soon as I finish this phase, it's going to auto-save, and I'm going to kill myself immediately. And the reason for that is not just because I don't like autosaves, but it's because if I don't do this, for some reason, I won't be able to... This is really hard to explain right now. So I'll just do the skip, and then I'll tell you why I did that, why I died there. So I can jump off of this thing to skip fighting some dudes. Don't question the physics there, they work. So now I'm up here, out of bounds again, don't worry about it. Normally I'm supposed to fight a bunch of enemies, but I don't want to fight them, because why would I do that? I don't want to fight stuff. So I'm just jumping onto the boss. This is where the final phase of the boss happens. And now I have to break these 3 things before I start actually fighting him. If I hadn't died intentionally, these 3 things would just never break and I would have soft locked. And I don't know why that happens, but you have to kill yourself once or you just can't break these. It's just a thing. Alright, so I'm just going to pull out a Mr. Zircon. In a second, Azimuth will break this for me. And then I'll start fighting him. And by fighting him, I mean I'm going to run in a circle and throw bombs at him. Well, Mr. Zircon helps. It doesn't matter very much if I take damage, because there's like health and stuff near me. This is the end of Axiom City.
Are any of the boss fights in this game like actually challenging or interesting?
Not anymore,
in terms of
no.
speed?
In previous routes, some of them were. So yeah, now we're done with Axiom City.
Come on, you did pretty good back there. I'm heading off to refuel. Next stop.
All right, so now we leave. So now what's gonna happen? This is like the halfway point of the game. I finished the first 2 out of the total 4 sectors. Normally there's supposed to be yeah, that boss is actually supposed to be like the epic like halfway thing, and it's just this like boring like avoid some lasers for a few minutes.
Literally walk
Yeah.
in a circle.
Yeah. So now what's gonna happen is I'm supposed to do another Clank section, but I'm gonna skip it. Like I said before, you can only do the Clank section skips on that one planet in Sector 1. Like if I tried to load a different planet, it wouldn't work. So I actually have to go back to Sector 1 so that I can use Zolar to do the Clank section skip, which is kind of weird. I don't know why it's only Zolar. I think it has something to do with how long it takes the game to load Zolar. I think it takes it longer to load that planet than like other locations or something like that. I don't really know.
It's a mystery.
It just works, so I do it.
Yeah, just leave it be, dude.
Yeah. Oh, another thing you'll notice now, I got my 6th Zoni, so now I have the boosters. So when I land here, I'm actually going to be facing the wrong way. So I'm going to skip this landing cutscene, and then I'm going to turn around, and now you're going to see that when I boost towards this planet, I'm still going to barrel roll, because barrel rolling is sweet, but I'm going like way faster. It should be pretty noticeable. And you spend enough time in space that it's worth it. So I'm doing the same thing. I press triangle and then select, and now I'm going to Sector 3. So now I have a bit more cutscenes and loading screens. We have about 5 minutes downtime, so how are you guys doing?
That's fine.
Any questions?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a snack or something.
Sounds good. You have plenty of time. Yeah.
We could play some Hands of Besoy.
What kind of snack?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys want to know anything? So,
Good general question.
what's your general
Learn
question?
how to speedrun I have a good general question.
Okay.
If you want to learn to speedrun Ratchet and Clank games, is there like a good resource for that? And if not, why haven't you guys made it yet?
The reason I'm laughing is because there was this site called RatchetRuns.com, which everyone in chat should go visit right now.
just jokingly said that.
No, but once they visit the site, they'll see why I tell them to do that.
Okay.
Because the site doesn't really function properly anymore.
Oh.
By which I mean it's been replaced by just like an image, pretty good image.
Oh.
But we have forums. We have a Discord.
Oh,
So
is there?
if you seriously want to like get into it, you know, like message one of us on Twitter. You can get into Discord.
Like, how did you get into it? How did you learn the route?
Back in the SDA days, SDA is like obsolete. For any of you youngins, SDA is Speed Demos Archive. It used to be like a forum for like this, basically, but I don't think anyone uses SDA anymore. Am I right? Yeah.
No. It was some kind of weird marathon. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when I was learning this game, SDA, there was like an SDA forum for this game that I just learned from. I basically just, there was only one guy who played the game before me, and I just watched all of his runs and copied him. So yeah.
I literally only asked that question because I've been trying to learn how to do Going Commando forever.
Oh, you could totally do that.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
It's pretty good.
That looks slightly not like a website that's helpful for learning to speedrun.
Not really.
Yeah. Remind me to go to speedcells.com. Just plug that in every run. It'll be literally Halo runs
Pop-Tarts?
all over again.
Solid choice. Solid choice.
Yeah. Not very filling though.
No, it's pretty filling. It's pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
I always feel like I didn't like eat anything after I ate Pop-Tarts. I feel like it was just a waste of my time.
This is such a long cutscene. Let's talk about a relevant conversation like Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, that's fine. There's one more cutscene.
We can literally talk about anything.
There's nothing going on. I mean,
This one's
Did you guys see the new
relatively short.
Angry Birds movie?
Oh God, I am ashamed for humanity that exists. Let me just put that out there.
It could be the first good video game movie. I haven't seen it. No offense to Tomb Raider fans.
Ooh.
what's the plot?
Some birds get pissed off.
I thought they were angry, not pissed off.
Well, I don't think
Fair
they wanted to
point.
call the movie "Pissed Off Birds."
Well, it would have been a better movie.
How would that have affected the plot?
It would've-
Yeah, it might be perfectly fine as is. Okay,
Maybe.
if not,
You
I haven't
can go
seen it,
see
but it's
There's
not.
a movie theater right next door.
Yeah, let's go see it.
You've got time.
Angry Birds tomorrow?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I have a relevant question that relates to our current conversation. Joseph, have you seen the Ratchet and Clank movie?
I actually have not. Don't hate on me. I've heard that it's bad.
On a
In my
scale of
defense.
like 1 to 10, what's your interest in seeing it?
At this point, it's pretty low because
Yeah.
basically the Ratchet and Clank other runners have said like, meh.
Damn, I was
So.
actively interested in it.
Oh yeah, I have to fight this boss in space now. So stuff's happening again. The new game's good casually. It's a terrible speed game.
Well, how do you know? It's only been like
There's a runner. There's a runner for it already.
It's still new.
It's new. Maybe if some stuff gets found, but right now it has no.
I was gonna say,
Right now it has no tricks, no glitches, basically. So it's pretty bad.
I highly doubt it's on
Uh,
the to make a game
For a
like that.
second, just a second here, I need to talk about something relevant to the run. So basically, when I enter Sector 3, there's this boss fight that happens right here, right? Where it's in space. It's like the only fight you do in your ship, the only boss fight you do in your ship. It also kind of has the same randomness problem where there are like upgrades. There are also some pink ships here that I have to fight like between sections fighting the boss, right? These pink ships are sort of hard to manipulate because they always try and like go the opposite direction that you're moving in. I actually got a really good first phase of killing the ships. The second one is like pretty average. I'm pretty bad at this. I'm pretty bad at all the space-related stuff other than the barrier skips.
How much RNG is in like the space fights?
These are the most RNG-heavy parts because you get random upgrades. So here what I wanted to get was rapid fire and double damage. I didn't get either of those. I don't think. I wasn't paying full attention because conversations and stuff. But that's that fight. It went pretty well overall. I'm going to go to Krell Canyon now. Krell Canyon, you saw me practicing this earlier. This is like the most broken planet in the game, or one of the two most broken. The whole planet, if I do it correctly, will take me less than 3 minutes. And a vast majority of the planet I'm not going to go to at all. Because, man. So I was debating this, and I think what I've decided is that I'm not going to explain Krell Canyon, because I think it's almost more entertaining if you don't know what's going on. So chat, you
we're
can just...
expecting complete silence here.
Yeah. Moment of silence for Krell Canyon. All right, no, that's boring. Don't do that. Talk.
Huh?
Yeah, no, we can speak. Yeah.
I'll roughly explain it, but I'm not going to have enough time to explain everything. So the first thing I'm going to do, basically the main thing you need to know is, as soon as I get here, I'm going to jump into a wall, and I'm going to trigger a cutscene at the very end of Krell Canyon. So this cutscene that I'm jumping into a wall, and this is triggering like a cutscene that I'm not supposed to trigger until I'm like done. So now I'm going to like do the level totally out of order because this cutscene just happened, and that triggered some other stuff. And now all the triggers are messed up. And that's cool, because I'm going to use that to my advantage. Might not mean much to you if you don't know what's supposed to normally happen here, but basically there's a whole outside area where I'm supposed to fight guys. I don't like fighting guys, like I said, so I'm just not going to fight them. Let's get this first try, because I practiced this.
Reminder, if you don't know what's going on here, you should probably go buy this game.
Yay. Okay, so I just did this clip. This is the first hover boot double jump. Those are going to become relevant soon. I mentioned those earlier, but basically I clipped into that room. It's supposed to be here way later. There's a cutscene that triggers in that room that I need to trigger, but I can't trigger it until Azimuth, who's the guy who gave me the hover boots.
Dude, watch out. What are you doing?
I can't trigger it until Azimuth is with me. So I come over here to die on purpose, and now Azimuth's with me, so now I'm going to jump back across and go back to that room.
We have a problem. The winch crank for that mining platform.
They're called
is right next to
tetramites,
protect
excuse me.
They're called the...
We're too close to turn back now.
Yeah, they're pretty annoying. But I never have to deal with them, so.
What do they normally do?
Normally you have to like lure them around with a thing called the Omni Soaker, which you're supposed to have before you go in there, but I'm going to go get it now because I need it later. So technically I could actually leave the planet right now, but I need this thing called the Omni Soaker for later. So I'm going to go get the Omni Soaker over here. Again, this is something I'm supposed to get like before I even start. You guys in Twitch chat are going to be able to hear this, but there's actually a conversation going on right now between Azimuth and another guy. But they're not here because I broke the game. But they actually are here because triggers and stuff. Go through the caves and stuff. Yeah, so they're talking. I'm just going to walk in circles here. Hopefully it's almost done. Yeah, there we go. So now I have the Omni Soaker. Now I'm going to leave.
Why do you need this?
I need it for Toomly.
Well, looks like the only way out is in.
I need to get oil in it for certain things later that are not skippable, unfortunately. You're not supposed to be able to swing shot back this way, by the way, but you just can. Because, I don't know, they're bad.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, that's Krell Canyon. I'm going to go to Battleplex now. Battleplex is a place where you're supposed to... So I'm going here basically to save this guy called Quark. If you know anything about the Ratchet and Clank series, you know who Quark is. I'm going here to save him. This area is like, it's not really like a place to explore. There's a bunch of like battle challenges here. So the idea is there are 5 challenges I have to do that involve like fighting enemies. And there's not really any like skips other than the fact that I'm gonna 1-cycle a boss that you're supposed to 3-cycle at the end. I'll explain how that works when I do that. But
how are things with the Agorians?
yeah, I'm just gonna fly up to Battleplex. I'm doing the the barrel roll boost movement in space. I'm gonna basically always be doing that. So yeah, and I'm gonna land on the Battleplex.
What is like? Is it actually? What is your risk of dying in Battleplex?
This is the area where I'm most likely to die, probably. Because I'm playing on casual and I never buy any armor upgrades. So you would think like, oh, you're on casual, you should like never die. But I never buy any armor upgrades, and I'm like really under-leveled because I skipped a bunch of fighting and stuff. So there are some enemies here that can kill me in like 2 hits. So I actually could die. In like a serious attempt, if I died during like basically any of these challenges, it would be a reset. I probably won't die. Then again, now that I've said that, I probably will.
Now you've said that.
Hopefully,
you probably won't, so.
Yeah. Well, that's why I wanted to stop there. You want to go around to the right here because if you go up the middle, that guy in the middle tries to talk to you, so you don't want to talk to him because
You're antisocial.
yeah. Here you're going to see why Mr. Zircon is good. A big part of the reason we buy Mr. Zircon at all is because he destroys things here very quickly. Unfortunately, no. If the dialogue was all he had to offer, we would have to skip him.
Do we get to see the Groovatron in this run?
Groovatron is actually one of the best, most important weapons in the entire game.
I love
That is
the
one of the few
Groovatron.
weapons we will be buying, and we will be using it to great effect. I'm doing really badly on this challenge.
The most interesting
So the
thing.
only other two weapons I'm going to buy are the Groovatron, and I'm going to buy the Buzz Blades at the end, because the Buzz Blades destroy like, and they're just way too good, basically. I'm just going to use them for the end of the game. This is a really bad first challenge, by the way. So that's
The most interesting thing about the boss fights is that we get to see their dance animations.
You get to see a lot of that. Basically, well, I guess I have to spoil it at this point, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to dance lock, as I like to call it, the bosses. I'm just going to make them dance forever while I kill them. So yeah, the Groovatron's really important. Yeah, it's actually very broken.
I remember. As soon as I got here, it was like, oh. Yeah.
Oh my god, come on, guy. Die.
Disco balls are really bad.
They are.
Oh, and in this game,
So these first two challenges, pretty straightforward. Sometimes the wave count glitches out. It said 4 out of 5, but I actually did all of them, I promise. This challenge is the exact same thing as the first one. The only difference is that it's more annoying. Because there are now stage hazards that can damage me, and they do a very large amount of damage, actually. Like, they will kill me in a couple hits if they hit me. So I'm just going to stay in the middle. There's also only one box to refill my ammo in the middle, so I'm basically going to stay in the middle and refill my ammo as much as possible. That's pretty much the strat. Yes, what's your question?
If you had to choose between living in a universe where every time a disco ball was around you, you were forced to dance, or a universe
Yes,
where there
that
were
one.
no disco balls, which would you choose?
I think I already answered.
You did. That was such a quick.
Who wouldn't want to live in that universe? That's like a positive. That's not a. That would be great. If it applied to everyone, not just you. If it only applied to you, then that would change things.
Yeah, what if
But
you're
if it
forced to
applied to
dance?
everyone, I think that would be a pretty good universe.
What if you're forced to dance,
So I got
but
hit once.
you're just
hopefully
like
I don't
dead
get hit
inside?
anymore. Ooh, I'm very close. If I get hit again, I'm gonna die. So usually, oh my god, I'm so close to dying. This is actually pretty bad. Usually you level up. You can see in the middle under my health, there's like a level up bar. Hopefully that like happens so that I get full health. If I die, I have to redo this whole challenge. If anything hits me, I'm gonna die. I'm at very low health. That's pretty much bad luck. I couldn't look to the left, so I got hit by a saw blade.
Do you have to redo all the challenges, or
No, just that one. Come on, let me do it. Okay. It's okay. I mean, that's bad, but... So yeah, that was pretty bad. If this were like a serious attempt, that would be like run over. But this is a marathon, so it's fine.
So, you mentioned the ammo that spawns in the middle. Did you have, aside from that part mentioned really early on in the run, any other...
Oh, like manipulating the level of the
yeah.
weapons? That is the only time it's relevant. When I buy the Buzz Blades, I will be leveling them. I'm actually going to buy them on the last planet, but I'm going to make sure they get to level 4 on that planet before I leave, so that they're level 4 for the last 2 bosses. So that's the only other time like weapon leveling is like a big thing. You guys like chill out for a second? Stop hitting me. Please. So these first 2 challenges are the worst ones. They're like, fight a bunch of guys. They get a little more interesting afterwards, by which I mean the 3rd one is interesting, the 4th one's alright, the 5th one is fight some guys, and then a boss. So yeah, this time I'm just gonna like not die, and then we'll continue the game.
What is the section after Battleplex?
After Battleplex, we'll go to Toomley, and then Force Launch.
What's the deal with Toomley?
I'm not gonna say that right now.
Okay.
You'll know when we get there. Oh, that was rude. I think we're good. Yes, maybe. All right. So the 3rd challenge is the most interesting one. You actually don't have any weapons in this next challenge. What you have to do is you have to kill the guys using only the bombs they throw at you, which you can like pick up and throw back at them. So hopefully I'll do my like sort of optimal strat for it. But sometimes the bombs randomly blow up in your hands while you're holding them for no reason. So it might not work out. But basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for him to throw the first bomb. And I'm going to pick it up, and then I'm going to wait for him to throw another one before I kill him. So I'm going to do the same thing for the second guy. And after I kill the second guy, they'll start spawning 2 at a time. So I'll wait for him to throw one. And then I have a bomb. Now 2 guys are going to spawn. And what I want to do is kill both of them, like... I want to kill one of them as soon as he throws a bomb. They're spreading out a lot, which is not great. I want to kill this guy and then get this bomb before it goes away. So that was good. And I'm going to immediately kill that guy. Now all the guys that spawn from now on are going to have shields, which I'm going to have to pull off first. Which can be both a good and a bad thing. When you pull the shields, they can actually walk on top of their own bombs and blow themselves up. That does happen more often than you would think. Sometimes I'll try and manipulate that to happen, but most of the time I'm just going to pull the shields off when they spawn. Now there are 3 of them. Alright, so this went pretty well. As long as I just kill these 2 guys, like right now. Well, I killed one of them. So, now we're good. Alright, so that was a pretty good third challenge. That one's pretty straightforward. The next one is more like kill waves of enemies, but this one, they're kind of like on platforms far away from you. The other big thing is I'm getting an item right here. This is an upgrade for my bomb glove. And this upgrade is like super broken. So it's convenient that they just like give it to me for free on the route. So I'm gonna like equip it. So now my bomb glove is way stronger. Strong enough, in fact, that it will allow me to one cycle the boss that I'm gonna fight later. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so that was the first wave. Please die. He didn't die. Neither of them died. Come on, guys. Why you gotta do me like that? So when you throw bombs, the other stuff they throw back at you can like interact with your projectiles. Still not dead? I'm getting kind of unlucky. That did not throw that. One more wave. This time they're going to be guys all around me. Some of them are going to have shields too. This platform is unfortunately lowering, so I guess I'll kill those guys later. Kill some dudes. That's not good. Okay, I kind of messed up here, so I'm gonna have to like use Mr. Zircon and my gun that I am not supposed to ever use.
Are these
like
the standard backup strats for this section, or?
No, this is just not supposed to happen, like ever. But it worked out, so we're fine. Yeah, so now we have the 5th wave. Quark is going to be with me for this last challenge. And he actually does fight. He is a little bit helpful. Not during the boss, but during the first 3 waves of enemies. So there's a cutscene. Quark's chilling with me. I pull out the bomb glove. I kill 3 like pretty easy waves of enemies. And then there's going to be the boss, which I will one cycle using my... I'm actually going to double check right now that the item was equipped, because it's... yeah, it didn't equip. That's why that didn't work. Equip. Okay. I had a feeling, based on how little damage it was doing in that previous challenge, that it might not have actually equipped. I don't know why it didn't. It's kind of weird. But now it is. It's important that I did that, because if that wasn't equipped for the boss, that would have been bad. It's kind of weird. I actually haven't had that happen.
During this section, can you rely on Quark at all to like help?
I mean, he does very minimal amounts of damage. Something important is I'm going to make sure I have full ammo, because I need full ammo to do the one cycle. So throughout this challenge, I'm going to be like continuously refilling my ammo. Because when it ends, I want to have full ammo. I think we're done. As soon as those guys die. If I have full ammo, we're good. Alright, so the boss is this big, like, monster thing. So I'm going to go to this corner right here. Mr. Zircon's going to shoot him. I'm going to throw some extra powerful bomb gloves at him. He's going to stand here and create some guys. And he's going to die. Like that. So normally you have to do, there are like 3 rounds of fighting him. You have to 3 cycle him, or you can just 1 cycle him because that upgrade is really overpowered. And conveniently, the game gives me a weapon here called the Negotiator. It's like a rocket launcher. I'm going to use this a bit on Toomley, which is the next planet. I'm pressing the wrong button. I was mashing with X instead of circle. That's not how you do it. So yeah, it's convenient they give you the rocket launcher because it's actually a useful weapon. And they only give you like basically no weapons. So it's nice that one's just like giving you on the route. So yeah, next I'm going to be going to Toomley. I'm going to leave here and go to Toomley after my ship is slowly returned to me. Toomley is going to have the second barrier skip in space. So the barrier skips were the things where I like went out of bounds in space. This one's like by far the easiest one. This one's actually almost like comically easy in how it's really weird. There's like this barrier, but the barrier literally just has a gap in it once you're out of bounds. You'll see what I mean in a second. It almost looks intentional, like the way they did it. It's really weird. But this one's really easy, so I shouldn't mess it up. Toomley is, we're kind of back to normal now, not so much fighting anymore. Back to kind of normal gameplay. So I'm going to boost around to the left over here, so you can see those like satellite things. That planet's Toomley. I'm going to clip out of bounds to the left again. And then if you look all the way to the left, you'll notice that those last group of like satellites, they don't have the electric thing between them, which you'll see in a second. See, it's just not there. So you just kind of not do that.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, that was kind of weird. My position must have just been a little off. I think I was too close. Sometimes these get kind of weird if you get too close to the barrier. I actually haven't seen that happen before though. Come on. Okay, there we go. So let's try that again. Let's make sure. I think I was probably facing too far left. Like I was saying, if you face out of bounds, it teleports you back in. So that's probably what happened. And you just fly up to the planet. So that wasted a couple seconds. Not too bad. As soon as I land on Toomley, I'm going to skip about half of Toomley. There's this platform you can jump to that's far away. You're not supposed to be able to jump to it, but you can. The original way of doing this was like you would climb up this like sort of out of bounds area you weren't supposed to get to. There's a faster way of doing it using the most precise, the most difficult hover boot double jump in the game, which you can do just standing on your ship. So hopefully I get this in like a couple tries.
Don't worry.
It's
sitting this one out.
this way is kind of cooler. I prefer doing it this way, and it is better, even though it's more difficult.
All right, Clank.
Okay, that was a little
Where is
weird.
this time?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand on this. This looks okay. I did the hyper strike a little too late. I could have made it. I just did the hyper strike too late. It's kind of hard to explain how I'm doing that, but basically, right before I land on the platform, I'm taking off the hover boots and hyper striking immediately. So I kind of hold the controller in a weird way when I do this. That's how it worked. Yeah, so now I just skipped like a lot. You're not supposed to get to that platform till way later. I'm going to do the weird falling thing again because it's faster. Get some bullets there, jump off of this. And now Toomley's going to get really broken. We're going to do a bunch of out of bounds clips as soon as I get past this platform. So I'm going to land on this thing, go around to the right. I'm going to make sure I jump around this thingy to my left because if I get too close to it, I'll pick it up and that wastes time because I don't want it. So I have a conversation with this guy. A big thing on Toomley is there's a bunch of checkpoints here, and if you get them in the wrong order or skip certain ones, the game soft locks. So even though it looks like I ran up to that barrier for no reason, I actually had to get that checkpoint or the game would soft lock in a minute. So this is the first clip here. I'm messing it up a little bit. This should work. Yeah, so I'm going to walk down here. I have to fall through and get that checkpoint that I just got. I know I got it because in the bottom left it's doing the loading thing. Then this is the next thing. Now I'm going to go back up into that area I was sort of walking in for a second. Let's get this. This one's a little weird. Okay, I got it. Second try is good. Come on, get me up there. Sometimes the floor is weird. Then I activate this and I'm good. So those went pretty quickly. You can get, sometimes they don't cooperate with you very well. So unfortunately the couch can't hear what's about to happen, but I think Twitch chat should enjoy it quite a lot. There's a pretty good conversation coming up. I'm actually going to listen to it because it's so awesome. Sorry guys.
Just leaving us out.
Yeah. So what he's doing right now, he's going to teach me how to plant seeds.
glad to help. I know
Um,
more about horticulture than any
so there's some good
farmer
lines in
outside
this
of
conversation right here.
You need to scoop up a seed.
Scoop up a
Is
seed.
planting seeds super relevant to
Nice
this
patch of
speedrun?
soil.
And you just plant it nice and deep.
Plant it nice and
In a
deep.
few years, you'll have a nice, healthy vine.
Remember to plant it nice and
There
deep.
are 2 more planters around here.
I don't think speedrunners are very good at planting seeds.
That would be the stereotype, yes. So now I'm going to, I have to plant these 3 seeds. The movement here is actually pretty fun if I do it right, because there's a lot of hover booting around. Basically, I'm trying not to bump into anything, which usually isn't an issue. So yeah, that was like perfect. As soon as I go back through the portal, there's like there's a jump I'm going to do. I'm supposed to use those vines that I just created, but I'm going to do this instead. And just grab this edge right here and just skip all of that stuff. There's another weird trigger thing here. The reason I'm going over here just to get a trigger, and then I'm coming back. So I just got a checkpoint that, again, if I didn't get it, the game would soft lock. If I hadn't gotten that checkpoint when I broke the barrier I just broke, it would have not actually deactivated, and the game would just be incompletable. This is why I need the Omni Soaker, by the way, that I got on Krell Canyon. I need it to get oil to lower this, and I can't continue the game unless I do this.
Is this the only place where it's relevant?
I'm gonna go for a sweet jump right here that saves about a second if I get it, and loses like 10 if I don't. Okay, I got it. What's up? Hi.
I've said a few things that you've not been able to hear at all.
Cool. Well, I don't need the headphones anymore, so what's up?
I asked if the Omni Soaker was relevant at any other point.
I'm gonna use it again right now to lower this bridge. So you need the Omni Soaker for Toonly. You need it on Vorsalon 2 as well. So yeah, you barely use it. It'd be really nice if we could skip it, but currently that is not in the cards. So now I'm gonna do this fight with the Negotiator, because it just kills all these guys in one hit, and I can like zoom in pretty far and still have it locked on. So it's just a very good weapon for this fight, so it's convenient that I got it for free, because I'm gonna use it a bit here. Gonna kill that guy, and then I'm gonna go back and get more ammo. Even though the Negotiator is like about to level up, I still have to go back and get more because it was like almost out. I'm gonna kill this guy before he can do anything because he's big and scary. Kill these dudes. Kill this guy. All right. Up. Oh god. Can you just like die, please? All right. Thank you. All right. So ideally, I would still have had a rocket left for this guy, but I don't. So I'm just gonna kill him with the bomb glove. And I'm gonna kill these 2 guys that spawn with the bomb glove as well. If he would stand still for a moment. All right, cool. We're good. That's Toonly. So yeah, now we're going to Vorsalon 2 in a moment. There's a cutscene I skip here. And then weirdly, there's like a cutscene when you get in your ship. And I've lost a lot of time in past runs to just forgetting to skip this, because it's the only time you have a cutscene when you enter your ship. But it's there. For some reason. Now we're leaving, we're back in space, we're gonna go to Vorsalon 2. So you revisit Vorsalon's ship from Sector 1, but it's like super different this time. We're gonna skip a lot of stuff here. You're supposed to fight Vorsalon again here, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do something else. I'm actually gonna steal a strat from the New Game Plus world record holder, Lexos. In just a minute, I'll explain what I'm talking about, but so weirdly, the world record for both Any% and New Game Plus were both broken, or both set, both about like 2 days ago. And there's like a slight optimization that I hadn't been using that I saw Lexos do, so I'm gonna steal that real quick.
Do you want to maybe just go over like what all the categories are for this game?
There's Any% and there's New Game Plus, and then one person has run all gold bolts. So there's basically Any% and New Game Plus. Those are like the standard category for Ratchet and Clank games is New Game Plus actually, because people like just having all the weapons. Because in other Ratchet and Clank games, the weapons are used for tricks. Like there are tricks that involve using weapons to like clip through stuff. In this game, none of the tricks rely on the weapons. So Any% is basically just the harder and in my opinion superior category. Not that there's no merit to. Hold on, I kind of need to pay attention. Not that there's no merit to New Game Plus, but it's basically just an easier Any%. That should have worked. It's unfortunate. Oh, come on. get up there. Cool. So I'm not supposed to be up here in case that's not obvious. I think it is. So I'm going to stand on this stuff. Now I'm out of bounds over the ceiling. I'm going to jump over here, land on this thing, this convenient out of bounds platform. I don't know why this is here, but it is. And this is how I'm going to skip the boss. I'm going to fly. Yeah, I'm going to go for the new thing. Under this thing. Cool. Yeah, that's super easy. Thanks, Lexos. That's a good strat. And then I'm just going to come up here. Now you're going to see grav ramps get really broken. Oh, wait. I should not be holding R2. Okay, I got the clip, but I was in a bad spot. Basically, I'm going to manipulate the fact that, I'm going to abuse the fact that this thing, like, messes with my gravity to clip through the wall and do something very interesting. So the boss room is below me, but I'm just going to fly over that. I don't want to fight him. I'm just going to go over here instead. I'm like above the level. I'm going to fall down here. It's actually okay that I got hit by that laser, because I might use some death abuse in a second.
Ratchet, what are you doing?
So now I have to go to these 3 things, do some stuff to like free Azimuth, because that's what you do in this game. You free all your friends, you get captured. I can't believe I messed up the coolest trick. If you boost jump at this gravity ramp, you like shoot up really far, and it just saves like a couple seconds. But I failed to do that, unfortunately. All right, so I'm gonna pull this thing off. I think I can take 2 hits before I die. I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna, nope, 1, good, that's perfect. So that death was intentional. I broke the thing, and dying there will spawn me like out, like basically at the back of that room, so I don't have to walk out of it. I'm now gonna jump over here, and I'm gonna get the second generator thingy. Gonna break some boxes, get some bolts. Some bolts here, because these boxes give me like a lot of bolts. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna fall and spawn at the entrance to that room instead of going all the way back through it, because there's no reason to do that. Now to get the third one, we're gonna do a minor skip. So normally you're supposed to get some water to cool down these platforms. Oops, I did that badly, but it's gonna work out okay. But you can just jump off the platforms and take damage and get over here. And then you can just jump across this one. So you can just skip getting water to cool down those platforms. But you do need to get oil to turn this. So this is like the last point where you still need the Omni Soaker, I think. I don't think we need No, you have it forever, unfortunately. I wish I could throw it away. Now Azimuth is free. Now we're gonna get out of here.
Come on, we're getting out of here. Both of us.
And get this health really quick. This is the room where you fight the boss, but the boss isn't here. So this room's kind of in a weird glitchy state. The only thing this really affects, there are some guys above me that I'm just killing as they spawn, by the way. Don't worry about it. I'm not doing nothing. This is important. But basically this door in front of me, when it opens, I only have like 1 chance to get through it.
Why do you only have 1 chance?
Because the room is in a glitchy state where, I didn't fight the boss. I'm gonna buy the dance glove right now. The official name, Groovatron Glove. You'll never hear me call it that again. It's called the dance glove. I didn't mean to throw one, but that's cool. We can just have a little party in the elevator. You guys can't even hear the music, so you don't know.
Yeah, we're probably
so
totally out of sync. It's fine.
Yeah, because there's like different tracks that play, so you don't know which one it is. Okay, that was. So I went through the elevator. Again, I need Azimuth with me, so I'm getting this checkpoint and then I'm dying. Because now I'll respawn there with Azimuth. Whenever you respawn, the game will just give you Azimuth pretty much. So now he's here. So now I'm going to use this turret and kill some stuff.
Cover me while I hack the terminal.
There's a lot of like different types of gameplay in this run. Like
Ratchet and
turrets
Clank games
and
try to be like that.
yeah.
I don't believe it.
Fortunately, this is the only turret section I have to do because I'm not good at them.
Give me just
I was hoping to kill this guy. Too slow. You like get hit. Their hurt boxes are like kind of messed up. Even though I'm clearly shooting him, he like won't get hurt sometimes. It's kind of weird. Can you guys please just die?
Opening hangar bay doors now.
All right. Let's kill these dudes. Should be all of them. Yeah, we're good. So we kill those. And now we're gonna leave. There's a cutscene that tries to play when I'm leaving here. If I get in the ship quick enough, I just skip it. so forget that cutscene.
Thanks for saving an old Lombax, Ratchet.
And that was the end of Sector 3. So now we have to go back to Sector 1. There's going to be another Clank skip. So this is your final intermission. I actually need to use the headphones again because I can't go to Sector 4 until a certain conversation ends. So Ratchet's going to be talking to Azimuth just for a while, and I just have to wait for them to finish talking when they're here in space. So I'm just going to skip that. I'm just going to do this for a bit.
Yeah, I'm clear. Were you able to decrypt force?
Because I know this looks really beautiful, and I know you guys love it.
It's enthralling.
So as soon as this conversation ends, I'll leave.
Well, it's not much, but it's our only lead. Upload them to my ship and I'll meet you there. Ratchet out.
Killing time.
All right, so I got the coordinates. So now, instead of going there directly, I'm going to go back to Sector 1 so I can do the Clank section skip. So this will be the third and final one. We're getting pretty close to the end of the game here now. The weird thing about this one is normally all the cutscenes surrounding the Clank sections are unskippable HD cutscenes, with the exception of one of them that's about to play.
Ooh, galactic trivia.
I know, it's pretty cool. So this first cutscene, I have to remember to skip. I've actually lost runs because I got up and left while this cutscene was playing and I forgot to skip it, which is pretty embarrassing. Because it's the only cutscene like this where you can actually skip it, for some reason. So this is the cutscene I'm talking about. You have to remember to skip it. And you don't have to. It's everything still works if you don't, but you just lose a bunch of time because it's an optional cutscene that you shouldn't watch if you're speedrunning. All right. So it'll load. Yep. This is a nice long one because this cutscene, even though you get to skip this one, yeah. Check your Facebooks and Twitter and all that good stuff. So even though I get to skip that first cutscene, the next cutscene that's going to play is one of the longest ones in the game. So this is still a relatively long break, unfortunately. And then we're going to be in Sector 4. Sector 4 is really hard. One thing I didn't mention earlier, it's kind of cool, is the difficulty both casually and in the speedrun actually increases a lot between each sector. Sector 2 is significantly harder than 1. 3 is significantly harder than 2, 4 is significantly harder than 3. So the late game actually is the hardest area, which is cool. It's cool that it works out that way because it actually feels like it's building up even when you're doing a speed run. The reason for this is mostly because 2 of the hardest tricks are in the first location I'm going to go to in Sector 4, which is Nefarious Space Station. So I'm going to do another relatively difficult hover boot double jump. Known as Valkyrie Citadel skip. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but that's okay. The only planet we can skip, I'll mention this now, the only planet we actually skip is in Sector 4. It's this place called Valkyrie Citadel, and it sucks. I'm really glad it's not on the run, because it's one of the worst planets casually, at least in my opinion.
What's wrong with it?
It sucks. There are Valkyries there, and it's a Citadel. And it's pretty long and annoying, and I don't think there are any real skips that you could do if it were in the run. There might be, but it's more convenient to just skip the whole thing, so I'm going to do that. So yeah, normally I'm supposed to go to Valkyrie Citadel first thing I do in Sector 4. Instead, I'm just going to, when I arrive, I'm just going to turn around and leave and go to Space Station. And there's basically this jump I can do that makes it so I don't have to do Valkyrie Citadel for kind of a weird reason. I'll explain when I get there. I'm also going to be doing the third and final barrier skip in space because there's one around Nefarious Space Station. This one's also pretty easy, though I said that about Toonly and I messed it up somehow. But yeah, this is the only one you do to the right. The other 2 you do to the left. But it's pretty simple. Yeah, should be fine. So that's going to happen as soon as this is done, which should be soon. Yes, no, maybe. Oh wait, no, this is the double cutscene. This one tricks you. Because it fades out and then there's going to be another scene in this cutscene. So anyone in chat, go ahead and get your hey there's ready. Because that's going to be coming up pretty soon.
I'm not familiar with this cutscene.
This is the cutscene where you meet Nurse Quark. And hey there is my
Because I always, for some
note
reason,
for her.
I always tune in right when like that happens, and I'm just like, how did we get here? Like,
oh
what
well.
happened?
So you always tune in at like the end of the run,
Yeah.
the last like fourth.
Once and you're like wearing a nefarious helmet at one point, and it's like, what?
Oh yeah, well I skipped the plot reasons for that, but you do disguise yourself as Nefarious later. We'll get to that pretty soon. All right, so get your hey there's out.
How does this cutscene rank compared to the other cutscenes?
Probably one of the better ones. Well, I don't know. I don't remember too much about it like casually. So now we're in Sector 4. Soon, hopefully. No, there we go. So I'm going to skip some cutscenes. I'm going to turn around because I don't want to go to that planet. Like I said, it sucks. I'm just going to go straight to the space station. And so this barrier, I'm supposed to have like 20 Zoni or something. But you know, I actually have 7, even though I only got 6. When I did the Battleplex, it gave me 1 for free, so I actually end up with 7.
The words say you need 14.
Okay, 14, whatever. I still have a lot less. You get the idea. So you just go around it, you boost forward. Pretty simple.
Did that almost kill you?
You can get hit by 5 of those before you die.
No.
They do a 5th of your health.
So it wasn't a big deal at all?
Yeah, you can just get hit, doesn't matter. So as soon as I land here, I'm going to do what used to be the hardest trick in the game at one point a while ago. This was the first application of hover boot double jumping. This is when it was like first found, was to do this trick. And this is the trick that allows you to skip Valkyrie Citadel. Basically what I'm going to do, you're supposed to visit, if I remember it right casually, I think you visit this area multiple times. And so like completing Valkyrie Citadel like affects this area in some way or something. Basically I'm just going to jump to a platform that's far away and that's going to just handle it.
So, did you mention, like, how this game has developed as a speedrun over the years? Do you want to talk about that a bit?
Okay, it doesn't have much history, because so basically there was this guy, his Twitch stream was Cheesy Poofs with 2 S's, but he doesn't stream anymore. I knew him better from SDA, where his SDA was, what am I doing? Let me explain this. Let me go through the history after I do this trick correctly, because I actually should pay attention. Yeah. I should have gone forward more. This might not make it. Yeah, way too low. Okay, we're good. So that's fairly difficult, all 2 of you. So basically there was this guy, Red's the name, was his SDA name. That's kind of how I knew him. He ran the game and then he did all the routing. He found a lot of the tricks, not all of them, but I think most of them. He found a lot of the really big ones. Like he found out how to skip the Clank sections and stuff like that. He found that trick I just did, which skips like a whole planet. He found like a lot of the big stuff. And he was like the original runner. He like stopped playing right at the same time I started, pretty much, which is kind of inconvenient. We were like never really running it at the same time. And then recently, Perilous Peanut started running it. He's also very good at it. Me and him are like the best 2 active runners by a lot. Sorry, anyone else? There's a couple other people who like sort of run it. I think I mentioned earlier, but not like. I don't want to offend anyone, but no one else really runs it seriously. Sorry, it's really just me and Peanut. For any percent, that is. For New Game Plus, like Lexus got a really good run, so there's him. But yeah. So the trick I'm doing now is basically the hardest trick in the game. It's not really hard because it's difficult. It's just very inconsistent. So you guys can normally this thing lets me past it, so you can enjoy some nice face right here. So yeah, I'll just let you guys enjoy that for a second.
Did you hear that? I did it.
You can move around a bit too.
Technology. I just made you my.
Pretty good camera right there.
That one was a little.
So he's gonna open the door for me, and then I'm gonna do the quote-unquote hardest trick in the game, which is really just the most inconsistent trick. This is gonna be basically the same thing as door clip, which is what I did in Forcelon 1, excuse me, at the beginning. But the difference is I have to jump off of one of these guys, and these guys are much harder to manipulate. Yeah. Also, if I get hit twice, I die, and I have to retry it. I'm gonna die. Nope, I didn't die. Let me jump. Come on. Get out of my way. Let's try this again. So a lot of runs can die here when you're like doing really serious attempts. This is like a big choke point. Like, you can just lose a ton of time here. Because I could have gotten it basically immediately. So I'm already, like, if this were like, you know, a serious run, I would be losing like, that should work. Okay, so that's what I was trying to do. Yeah, that's like the hardest trick. You can give me your claps. Because I didn't die at all while I'm doing it, I have to do another skip. You actually, this barrier deloads if you die once for some reason. So sometimes it's better to like die once while you're doing it, but I didn't, so that's fine. I'm having a bit more trouble than I should with this one though. This one's usually pretty straightforward. Come on. It's annoying because this one you like can't really practice because all your save files here will have this barrier deloaded. All right, cool, we're good. Then there's one more clip. That one's pretty easy. It's pretty much the easiest one. And now we do a hover boot double jump and get into the final room of Space Station. I need to make sure I don't die here, so I'm gonna get health just to be like super cautious. And then I'm supposed to kill all these guys, but if I jump correctly, I can just go through this air vent without killing them, because good programming. I skipped some cutscenes, now I'm disguised as Nefarious. It happened, don't worry about it. So I'm gonna have Lawrence send down the elevator for me. And because the game's in a weird state, Quark is gonna not make the elevator, but you're still gonna hear him talking. And I need to listen to a couple things here just to know when some guys stop talking to me.
How do I do that?
You have a few things you can do when you're Nefarious. You don't really fight it during this part, but you can like kill guys with circle, punish minion, that means like kill them basically, which I'm gonna make use of. These two big dudes in front of me, in a second I'm gonna have to fight all the guys in this room, so it's faster to just kill them right now with that. So I just kill those guys, and then the rest of them I'm gonna fight like as Ratchet because it's faster. So I run up here, talk to this dude, and then there's kind of like a little mini game I have to do in a second. So I have to listen to him say some stuff that I don't care about.
Is quite capable of clearing the debris. Say, would you like to test it out? The controls are yours, sir.
So I have to play asteroids for a bit here.
An excellent shot. Very good, sir. Excellent, sir. At this rate, you'll be at the great excellent shooting, sir.
All right, then I'm gonna call Lawrence. Basically, there's just like a scripted series of things I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna do them as quickly as possible. I order this to land, and then I'm gonna make this guy stutter for you. Oh wait. Oh wait, I did the wrong thing. I forgot to make him stutter. I messed up. Sorry guys. All right, now I'm gonna fight some dudes. Yeah, some stuff happened, don't worry about it. I'm gonna use the negotiator in this room, if it can actually work for me. Which is not, it's not homing for some reason, which is not ideal, but that's okay. Now it's working. So let's get some more ammo for that. Quark kind of incompetently fights like one guy at a time. You basically have to do everything. So he like sort of helps, but not really. It'd be cool if that had locked on, but it didn't. Who am I missing? Missing all these dudes. Oh, that was a convenient level up. That was pretty lucky. That normally doesn't level up there. Stop. All right. All right, so now I'm gonna make everyone dance and pull out this thing. So enjoy this lovely music. So the bomb glove is really overpowered because it can now kill these things in one hit, since it's V5. These guys are like the hardest, basically the hardest type of enemy in the game, the big dudes. And they're pretty strong, so I don't want to have them attack me. I'm just going to let them dance. So I have to fully clear the room before I can move on, so I'm missing like this one dude. All right, so now we're good. That's Space Station. I have to wait for Quark to catch up with me, and now we're in late game. So there's going to be another fairly long cutscene right
You
here,
know, oftentimes when I say this,
where
it results in
Nefarious explains
catastrophe,
his
but what the hey? Mission accomplished.
his great schemes for you. They're not so great. They're kind of weird. And then we'll be in endgame. So there's one more planet and then basically 2 boss fights, and we're done.
Can you describe the plot to this game in 1 sentence?
No. To answer your question, I cannot.
Nefarious, you can't use the clock.
Um,
Nothing you could want is worth
Chat can enjoy the cutscenes. Nefarious does have really good voice acting. Not necessarily in terms of like his dialogue, but the sound of his voice acting is pretty good. If only you guys could hear it. I mean, it's a shame.
If only there were someone to do an impression of Nefarious,
wanna
so
listen?
we could understand.
You can listen.
I can't. They're adjusted for your small head size.
Oh wow. Gonna put me on blast like that? So yeah, this cutscene's gonna happen. Then we're gonna be on Gimlick Valley. So this is where I'm gonna, as soon as I land, I'm gonna buy the Buzz Blades. They're like the best weapon in the game. I'm just gonna use them for endgame. I'm gonna buy those and I'm gonna use them a lot here. I'm gonna get them all the way up from level 1 to level 4, just on this planet. Because they level really fast, because I'm gonna be fighting like one of the relatively more difficult types of enemies on this planet. So they give weapons a lot of experience really quickly. Yeah. There's a nice little, well, it already faded away, but there's a nice little Easter egg, by the way, there in that cutscene where one of the things Nefarious scrawled on his wall when he's crazy was like square, triangle, circle, X, which are like the PS3 buttons. Some little fun stuff like that, some trivia.
I feel like doing intergalactic trivia would be a good thing to do during the downtime.
Do you have any intergalactic trivia for us?
Well, I could like collect some. I'm not saying right now. I'm just taking note of it for the
this is pretty much
future.
your last chance. So
Oh well.
we're pretty much done with cutscenes after this one. Okay, great. Thanks for the input. I'll keep that in mind next time. Anything else worth noting here? I don't know. Do you have any questions?
No, that was 5 bolts wasted.
All right, then let's just sit here in silence. That sounds like a good call.
So what is the level that, like, what are we gonna see after this?
We're gonna see Gimlick Valley. There's a place you go. It's like, so part of the plot of this game involves like time portals and going back and forth between the present and the past. And you kind of use that here in this last planet a lot, where you like do things in the past that affect the present, and help like the Fongoids win a war against the Agorians. So I'm gonna be fighting a bunch of Agorians.
What's your favorite level?
To play, I like Molinoff a lot. I like Krell Canyon a lot. I like the ones where you get to do a bunch of tricks in a row, where you're like basically always breaking the game in some way, like perpetually. Those 2 are pretty fun. A good space station is fun, but if you have to wait for like those guys like I did for a while, it's less fun. So now we're on the last planet, Planet Morclon or whatever it said it was called, Gimlick Valley basically. We're gonna do some little movement right here. Go talk to this dude. Skip, unfortunately, one of the best cutscenes in the game, which is this one. I have to skip it. Sorry, guys. And now we're gonna go into this portal, the past, and help them win a war. Because reasons. I'm gonna buy the Buzz Blades because they're, like I said, they're really broken. They're super good. So Peanut found the strats for what I'm gonna do here, which is basically the optimized way of leveling these up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kill 2 of these guys right here. These guys give a ton of experience to the Buzz Blades. So if you watch in the top left, I've only killed 1 guy. You can see how much experience it's given me. Fill up the bar that much. So I killed 2 of those, and I come back here and I'm gonna buy full ammo. And then I'm gonna go ahead and continue like normal. So I basically killed those 2 guys just for experience. At least for right now. I'm gonna come up here, some more dancing, and we're gonna kill these dudes while they dance. Almost died. Kill this annoying guy who stands up here away from all the action. And during this fight, my Buzz Blades are gonna level up a lot. The Agorians have a pretty good dance. Pretty enjoyable. Yeah, just kind of run around, throw another dance glove so these guys keep dancing and don't bother me. And I should get to level 3 by the end of this fight. Yeah, I'm gonna get to level 3 on the last guy, which is pretty much perfect. Sometimes it gives you a weapon alert for that, even though I have them turned off, which is really weird. I don't know why, it always happens there for some reason. So the game is just like, I guess it really wants me to know that they're
Well,
level
it's because
3.
this is taking place in the past, so it's before you turned it off.
Yeah. Alright, fair enough. So now I have to kill these 2 Hydra tanks. I actually jump over here and you're supposed to, it's sort of implied that you can kill this one second, but it's way easier to kill it first. There are less guys over here basically, so I just kill it first. I'm also going to be killing more Gorgons because I need experience for my buzz blades. Time to take damage, but didn't go as well as I'd hoped. Kill those dudes. Okay, that's fine. I got the first one. I think that should still count. Yes? I kind of went for it. That was oh well. That was a bit risky, but I did it on, I mean, you got to risk it for the biscuit, right? So, since my buzz blades are really high level now, I'm going to be able to, in some ways that's almost going to make things faster, because I can use a weapon that's much faster on these tanks, since I don't need to worry about leveling as much. So I'm just going to kill him with this. It takes like 2 seconds. Can you please not block onto that shield right now? Can you please help me out here, game? There we go. Sometimes I think shields are more important than this giant tank you're supposed to kill, or whatever. Alright, well that was a little awkward, but it's a marathon. Things happen. Almost. Just kill like that dude over there. 3d4, and I'm just gonna destroy this guy really quickly with got the box because there's like. Hopefully that guy will stop being annoying behind me. He didn't stop. That was a little inconvenient, but we're good. Now there's more vine seed collecting. I'll grab that one. Put it right here. Then I'm gonna go back and get another one from. Whoa, that's not how the camera was supposed to be. Go get another one from right there. Bring it over here. And it's the same deal. I only need to get 3 of these. This one has to go here. And then I'm gonna go for the blind grab here. I didn't get it. You can grab one of these without adjusting the camera. Took me way too many tries. And then you throw this in here. Wait for the cutscene, and then we're gonna go back to the present, because now we helped them like with this war or whatever, so things are different.
What were the chances that would happen?
Oh, sorry, actually I'm getting a little ahead of myself. We have to kill the boss
Come on,
first.
let's get back to
But the vine like goes through the portal conveniently, because plot, basically. So yeah, you ride these vines back through the portal. You fight the boss. He's pretty easy because I have buzz blades already at level 4. You're gonna start to see why buzz blades are like. You're gonna start to see them be really powerful here, but they're pretty insane for like the last 2 bosses, which are gonna come after this guy. So this is, unfortunately, there's no like skipping cycles on any of these last bosses. That's not the weapon I want. We're gonna shoot this guy a bunch. He's gonna die pretty quickly. And then he like kind of backs away and like dips down, but you can actually keep shooting him when he does this, because he's right there. So you do that. And then you're supposed to like not be able to damage him for a bit right here, but you still can for a bit while he's going away. Eventually it stops, allowing you to damage him. Kill these dudes. These guys, for some reason, don't give you weapon experience, which is really awkward, because if they did, you would not have to grind for level 4 as much as you do earlier. But those 4 guys he makes, they don't give you your buzz blades experience. They don't give any of your weapons experience. It's really weird. I don't know why they did that, but that's how it is. Alright, So that's the boss. Pretty easy. So now we're pretty much done. I'm gonna go back to the future, skip some cutscenes. Then I have to collect some battery bots really quick, and then we will be on to the last 2 bosses. We don't have a ship, so this guy's gonna borrow our ship because he's a homie. Or he's gonna let us borrow his ship, is what I meant to say.
That should power up the Versa fuses.
Get that battery bot. Fly over here, put it in that. This is the last one. I don't know why he couldn't do this himself, but apparently he needed me to do that to power up the ship.
All right. Okay. Altimeter.
So now we
thruster,
leave.
warp drive.
It's just going to automatically take me back to space station.
See? Nothing to it.
And I'm going to do some more tricks to get to the boss, like pretty much immediately. Because I don't want to.
What's the boss of Space Station?
It's Nefarious. So this is where you fight Nefarious. Then there's the kind of like plot twist final boss after Nefarious. So
No spoilers.
Yeah, if you plan on playing this game ever, you shouldn't be watching a speedrun of it probably. But yeah, there's like a kind of a weird plot twist at the end with who the final boss is. It's not Nefarious. He's the second to last boss. You kind of think he's the last boss. I feel like when you play this casually, you're like led to believe like this is the last boss. But it's,
all fueling pods. Please initiate fueling sequence.
So one other thing that's going to happen is after I do this next little trick to get to him quickly, I'm going to switch my controls to default off of shooter, because default makes all your buzz blades automatically lock on, so it helps you kill bosses quickly and very easily. Alright, so another thing I'm not supposed to do, this track is like part of where you fight him. For some reason it's loaded and it's just like there, so I can just like jump down onto this track where I'm going to be fighting him in a bit. Be careful not to destroy this thing, which you can go through but then land on top of for some reason. Get me up there. Alright. From here, jump over here. I'm going to switch the controls to default. Default. And then you can just jump off like into space over here into the trigger for the boss.
Why did you just change the control scheme?
I just told you, dude. I literally just told you. You switch to default because
Yeah,
you switch to default because it makes all your weapons like automatically lock on. So every single one of my buzz blades will hit him now, even if I'm like not. I don't have to be accurate basically. Yeah, no worries. He gets blamed because
I just wasn't paying
he should have been
attention.
paying attention. You're good. So I just like shoot him with these. He takes a bunch. Yeah, he kind of just is outclassed by buzz blades.
Initiate hypernova defense
I literally told my friend I was playing this game like the other day. Did you get the bug blades yet?
Yeah, casually they were like my favorite weapon. They carried me pretty hard. So now I just kind of like run around this track for a little bit because I don't know.
Is this like an auto scroller or?
No, I have to not mess up. Like if I don't go over those arrows, I won't get a boost. And then there's a thing behind me that can like damage me. That's why the screen's like kind of turning red. But it's pretty simple. You just like do it. So what's gonna happen now? I'm gonna shoot him more. So during this part, there's like actually a little skippish thing. So I'm gonna kill these dudes. So I'm struggling a little bit here because I hate default controls and I'm super not used to them. So what's gonna happen now is I'm gonna make a Mr. Zircon and I'm gonna make Nefarious dance again because I love making him dance for you. And if I just shoot him with the buzz blades, I'm actually gonna skip a phase of him. He's supposed to spawn more enemies right now, but I like dance locked him, so he didn't get a chance to do that. So I actually skipped a phase of him creating more enemies for me to fight. So now I'm gonna go around the track again, and then there's gonna be like another final part of the fight for the last half of his health, which hopefully will go well. So this time they try and make it a little harder for you because he makes like triple electric things, whatever those are supposed to be. And then he makes like a longer one. So they totally ramp up the difficulty on you. Watch out. Still very easy, in case that wasn't obvious. The invisible commentator here. So yeah. So yeah, you jump on this destroyed track and stuff, and you know, you just kind of.
It's very exciting.
It's more exciting when you can play it and hear the music. The music makes it more exciting. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh yeah, the radio stuff. So I have to wait for him to like, yeah. Well, not in a speed run. But I have to wait for him to like stop being weird up there. Because one of the side effects of making him dance like that is that he'll like dance too long. So I'm gonna make him dance more. Oh, I lost. And now we're just gonna like, hopefully this laser will hit him. This laser can hurt him and do a bunch of damage to him. Yeah, it happened. I think it happened. Didn't do as much as I would have liked it to, unfortunately. No. This fight's not going as planned, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to switch to ultimate strats here. Thankfully, he dances for a very long time. Not quite that long, but it's a while. Yeah, he actually, a cool thing about this is this game was released the same year Michael Jackson died, and they changed all Nefarious's dances to dances that Michael Jackson did. Or all the boss dances. Yeah. So like, Nefarious will do Thriller, that's what he was doing, if you notice. Azimuth does like moonwalks and stuff. They're all like famous Michael Jackson dances, kind of as like a tribute to him. Yeah, that's my one like random piece of trivia that I know about this game. Yeah. So now you're supposed to kind of think like, oh, the game's over. I like beat the final boss, and Nefarious like he like dies here. He's pretty dead after this, as you'll see in a second. But there's one more thing we have to do.
Escape pod.
After we get heroically saved by our pal Azimuth.
It's been one heck of a ride.
Oh, sorry. I guess I said that a little too early. But it's happening right now. Here he is. Just in time.
10 seconds until impact.
So he's gonna save us, and then the game's gonna. Then we're gonna go to the Great Clock. If you pay attention to the plot at all in this game, the Great Clock is super important. That's where Clank was the whole time, but I skipped all of that. So there's this really, really important central location to the game that we've like basically never been to in the speedrun. But that's where we're gonna go now. And it's like, the Great Clock is like this thing that controls time and stuff. It's like really important.
Literally the most important part of the game.
Yeah, pretty much. The brief summary is Azimuth was like, so Ratchet's, all the Lombaxes are like in a different dimension. And Azimuth's whole thing is he wants to like use the Great Clock to go back in time to prevent the event that caused that to be from happening. But using the Great Clock is like dangerous because it like controls time and you don't want to like fuck with time. So Ratchet's all responsible and he's like, nah, we're not doing that. I'm just summarizing for you guys. That's what's happening right here. Okay. Ratchet's like, nope.
Is this the closest we're
he's
getting
like,
to
okay,
an impression?
Clank also like wants to. Clank is supposed to be like responsible for the Great Clock from now on. So Ratchet's like, oh, I'm gonna walk you in and like say goodbye to you. And then here's the plot twist. Azimuth is like unacceptable, and he does this. I know he kills Ratchet. So now I'm going to play for Clank as 30 seconds, and then I'm going to skip a cutscene that's very important, and then Ratchet will be alive again. Basically what happens, I'm going to run into the Great Clock with Clank. Well, another character who you never saw at all because I never did any of the Clank stuff distracts Azimuth for me. I also have a time bomb thing that I got, but I didn't get it because I skipped all the Clank stuff, but I have it now. So I'm going to use those. There was stuff involving them. I have them. That's why he's holding this like wand. So that's a time bomb. It does some stuff. Just accept it, basically. And I'm just gonna run in that door into the Great Clock. This cutscene I'm gonna skip. Basically, I'll just summarize it for you. Clank, he's like conflicted about using the clock, but he's like, he has this memory of some stuff that I skipped, where he's like, someone told him like, it's okay but to use the clock if you only use a small amount of time. He's like, I wouldn't risk any more than 6 minutes. So Clank turns it back 6 minutes and he saves Ratchet from dying. And then this happens. And now we chase Azimuth to the clock. And Azimuth is the final boss. Well, yeah, because Clank went back in time to before Ratchet died. So Ratchet's alive. Sometimes the camera does that for no reason. It's pretty cool.
Ratchet, look out!
I was being a bit sarcastic, but it actually can make you like die if you're not ready for it. But we're good. So we bounce off some stuff. I mean, not when I'm speedrunning, unless it's intentional, which happens sometimes. So Azimuth is actually really easy. We're just gonna make him dance and kill him, pretty much. Yeah. We're gonna use the two most broken weapons to, in combination, trivialize this boss. So he does this like, moonwalks and stuff. Buzzblades, dance buzz. I'll also make, well, yeah. The Rhino is like, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't even. You have to be in challenge mode to get that. I can't remember in this game. I think you can get it. It's just you would have to go way out of your way. Basically, just not worth it. All right, so make him dance some more. All he wants to do is dance. We're coming up on time relatively soon. Basically, time will be when he dies, so it's going to be like soon-ish. Not yet. There's another half of this. I'm going to do it 2 more times, and then we'll be done.
How does time, because this is a marathon, and you said this game is time using in-game time? Are we?
Yeah,
gonna...
I'll check the in-game time afterwards, but
okay.
Time that was really bad. He gave me Mr. Zircon ammo instead of Buzzblade ammo. Not ideal. I don't really need more Zircons. I still had like a lot of them. But I should still be able to easily get this 4 cycle with break box. So now we just, as soon as he dies, so once the saving thing comes up in the corner, that'll be time. So it'll be pretty soon here. Actually might have messed up damage a bit, so I might have to do a bit more stuff after he stops. Time. That's the game. 1:58:56. Okay, that's fine for a marathon. Not an amazing run, but for a I just wanted to get under 2 hours, so I'm fine with that. There's some more there's like another cutscene before I can actually check the in-game time. Doesn't really matter. It's not like this was a great run, but I guess I should check it just so you guys know. Unless it's like, do you guys really need to get to the next run?
No, you can check it.
All right, so we'll see what it is.
We're already like 2 hours behind. Who cares?
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So after this cutscene, basically when you beat the game, you have like 2 choices. It asks you if you like want to go back in time and do like a challenge mode, or if you just want to like continue from where you are. So I'm going to choose to like make a new file, but I'm not going to actually make a new file. I'm just going to use it to check the time on this file, because it'll show me like where this file was at. Yeah. So this will be done pretty soon. So I do this, we can see the in-game time. Hopefully it's not too horrible. 1:21:09. Yes, that's not a very good run. That's like 5 minutes slower than world record. It's pretty bad, honestly. But for a marathon, I mean, you know, I messed up some stuff. I went for some risky things, so that's fine. You know, I like died on Gimlick and in Battleplex because I was just like, you know, sometimes you gotta play a little risky. But yeah, that's a cracking time.
Yay.
Thanks for watching.
Cool.